All right.
Hey guys, welcome back.
What up, Buzz? Happy
Already.
Thursday.
Hey.
Happy weekend. It's almost here. Usually this is the light show, but I mean, we really don't have anything to talk about today. So we're just gonna keep it open. We're gonna shoot the shit. Maybe get some feedback from you guys as far as what direction we should be taking with the show. As you know, that we're gonna be changing the time around, and hopefully maybe we change the dynamics around. So me and Lynn, we were having a conversation, off air prior to us coming on board. That's why we're a little late. We're just trying to see where should we take the show, and I like the fact that it's more of like a variety show, right? It's like whatever's topical, we're talking about it. Hopefully, maybe if we can start trending with some of these topics and kind of just take it there, because I feel like we do have a different insight with everything that's going on in the world, be it culture, politics, whatever, right? It's our take. So, yeah. So, Fuzz said, "Did you see my email?" No, we did not. I always forget to check that. That's on me, Fuzz.
I did pull
My
it up.
bad.
Oh. No,
You
don't
got it?
go. Technical difficulties. I did
It's
pull
all right.
it up.
It's all right.
So we are gonna pull it up in a little bit, and it'll be the first time Ray sees it. It'll be the first time I see it too. But I was able to pull it up real quick.
Well, don't
see.
show our email. Let's not do that. We could read it.
No, that's not what I'm
We could
trying
read
to
the
do.
email. Because
I
I
was
don't
trying
want
to
to.
open a new tab, and it didn't work.
Let's not go. Because another thing I said that was like, I like how Lynn is also like, as we're talking about things, she's pulling the split screen to show us doing research or pulling stories online. So it's more visual for you guys, which is great. But I don't want to show that email because I don't want to give out, Fuzz's real name. So I'm not trying to dox anybody on this show, because I want to keep it as open as possible when it comes to your guys' opinions. Like, I respect that. I respect that you guys are being honest with us, and I love that about you guys. So I definitely don't want to. Let's read it offline, and then make sure you close emails out before we go back into showing
So
visuals.
Buzz actually sent us a link. It was a video link, so I was able to pull up the video, not the email.
All right, cool.
But yeah, let's jump right into it. Let's
watch it. Yeah, so this will be the first time I'm watching it. Thank you, Fuzz. Always providing, always giving us bangers, always giving us home runs with your content. Much appreciated, Fuzz. Thank you. And my bad that I've been slacking with checking emails, but Lynn is on it, so Lynn gets the golden star today. She gets the little sticker like in school. Here you go, Lynn. Here's your star sticker. All right, so let's pull it up.
All right, so it just says, also, how is it understood that YouTube women caused the problem? Why is it our fault by default? If we spoke up, they would have us committed or worse. Let's play it.
Can't hear it. Is it muted? Because sometimes they do that. They mute the videos.
Wait, you don't hear anything?
I don't hear anything, so I'm thinking the video itself might be muted, and then sometimes you gotta press like the little speaker.
So I have to figure out why you guys can't hear it.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it. I don't know if Fuzz heard it, but I'm not hearing anything. Yeah, technical difficulties.
Do you hear that?
Hear what? I don't hear anything. Something's playing. What is it?
I I'm just testing my audio, and it's actually
Nothing
playing
ever
stuff for
works
me.
around here. I was like a meme. Nothing ever works around here. Yeah, no sound from the video. Yeah, there's nothing. Nothing. Same. I'm not hearing anything. Which is funny because the other day when you were playing stuff, we were hearing stuff. Every time, all the time you did something, it was playing through video. So I don't know why all of a sudden this is not playing. I think it's on the TikTok video itself. Why don't you open up another tab and just try like a quick video to see if audio is coming through? Because then we know we can rule out it's not the settings. Troubleshoot live on the air. Look at how we go.
Look at this dude here.
Fine. And the audio's turned up. Yeah, no audio. So I don't know what's going on. Why are they breaking eggs on their arms? See, now I'm confused on the video. You think, what the hell is this shit? Can you?
I didn't read it. I just clicked on it. Oh man, that was so good.
Oh my god, the internet does such stupid shit. Oh my god, why would you want to waste eggs? We get it, dog. We get it. You got muscles. So what?
That's basically what he was trying to show. He was like, "Oh, I could do it too." That's ridiculous.
Listen, if that's what it means to be like super muscular, you waste fucking eggs. I'm not doing that shit. I'm going to eat that omelet. Good morning, Mom. Well, happy Thursday. Happy weekend up ahead, and we love you too, Mother. We love you too. All right.
Yeah, full
shit.
screen.
So do you want to you can hear it on your end, Lynn?
Yeah, I can.
All right. So maybe listen to it, see what she says, and then stop and give us the feedback. Summarize. Cliff notes.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
And then try it again.
I don't know what's going on with the audio. It was working fine last time.
Yeah, it was.
Man, you broke the internet. Oh, on a side note, I just freaking just finished watching the She-Hulk finale with that freaking disaster. And I don't know, at some point throughout the show, I was like, why am I still watching this? And I guess I just wanted to keep seeing the train wreck. You know what it is? It's like when you see an accident and you just slow down and you're like, what the hell is going on? It's like a tragedy. Do you want to keep watching it anyway? That's what it was. It was like, I was just like, how much worse can this show get?
Mm-hmm.
And then it got worse. It just got worse. And then the finale, they were trying to be like all edgy with it. And it was just like, no, you guys lost it like episodes ago. I don't know. It just felt, I know it's just really bad writing with that show. And of course, of all the other stuff that they did, where it was just the nonsense of constantly bashing men, but it was just like the jokes didn't land. It wasn't funny. It was supposed to be a legal show. There was nothing legal in it. It was just really bad. And I'm like, yo, this is Marvel. So it's like literally you're seeing the downfall of Marvel, like right in front of your face, right? Like just a few years ago, we had Endgame, right? Mm-hmm. Which people were like, it broke box office, right? People were just going boom, boom over and over because it was just so like, what? And Endgame kind of hinted at this, right? Because remember the scene when all the females lined up and it was like, it kind of took you out of the movie because it was kind of corny because they intentionally did it. It was like over your head kind of deal. And so they kind of hinted at this. And so it was just like, fast forward like to this, show. And the thing that Marvel loves doing, because they did this with Captain Marvel, they love to take some like pet project, right? Something with a message, and they love to like hammer it in where it kind of forces you to go see it, right? So they took Captain Marvel and they put it in between Infinity Wars and Endgame, right? So it was like, oh my God, I gotta go see that. Maybe they'll have something about, Endgame in that movie, right?
Right.
So you go see it, and it's corny as all hell. It's on the nose with the message and all that. And so they did the same thing with this show, right? They had Daredevil, because everybody's all excited for the Daredevil TV show. So they had him cameo in it. They had I'm not no spoiler alert, but they had like another cameo in the season finale, right? And it's just like they keep doing all of this because they know that they can't stand on their own laurels. But then they keep hammering that, oh, I'm so great, I can stand on my own laurels. That's literally how the show is, but they can't do that. It's like they have to give you, like they have to build all this other stuff from the other universe to make her so strong and all this. I'm like, oh my god, it's
Yo,
such a
you
horrible
hate
show.
on this show
It's
so much
horrible
that it like
because
kind of like intrigues me. Like, dude, I need to
yeah,
watch
watch
this.
it.
I don't know what he's
Watch
talking
it. Just
about.
watch how bad it is. Like, watch how bad it is. Because I know you watch the Marvel stuff, and like you recently tried to watch Love and Thunder, and it was just too
Yeah,
much for you,
it
right?
wasn't it.
And like it's trying to be like trendy. Like it talked about topics that people are talking about online, but it's missing. Like it's getting like sure, you know, they'll say like, oh, you know, one of the they'll say the comment, but then they'll make it seem like the person is being misogynist as opposed to the person is just being a fan. And I hate that. I hate that because like you can't take as a creator, you can't take constructive criticism from your fans. Like these are the people who are buying the tickets.
Right.
Like I'm the one buying the tickets, and you're insulting me. It's like,
which is crazy because like for me, with me doing like everything in the digital world and earning income you know, strictly online, what I do is I look at people's comments. Like I look at the top sellers and I go through the comments and I see what people are saying, like, oh, you should have done this, and I'm like, oh, I could do that, and then boom, you have a product that people are actually looking for.
Right. And it burns me because it's like they're doing this with Marvel. They did it with Star Wars. Think about Star Wars. Think of how much they spent for Star Wars. Billions of dollars, right? I think it was like $4 billion. $4 billion that they spent on Star Wars. And you just killed it. Like, why would you not take that and then listen to the fan feedback since they're the ones who are going to be spending all that money? Like, if you spend $4 billion on a property, wouldn't you want to make that money back?
Yeah.
Or keep doing whatever, pumping it out.
I think what they're missing is that like that fandom around like the newer things that they're creating, the movies, the shows. Like they're not sticking to like, hey, let's create a story. Let's immerse people into this world and create that fan world that people are looking for. Rather, they're saying, hey, let's go with what everybody's talking about on Facebook, and maybe everybody will come see it then, kind of thing.
No, what they were focusing on was like they didn't focus on the magic of Star Wars. They focused on the fact that Star Wars was mostly male led and they were all white. That's what they focused on. And I'm like, yeah, but there was also something there, that the magic of it, right? Is the imagination of it, the thing that led everybody to gravitate over and over and over again. It was an escape from reality, right? It was a world that was like, yo, I'm embedded in this world, right? Who doesn't like pick up a lightsaber, or who doesn't pick up like a broomstick and start going vroom, 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 right? The sound effects and all that, right? Start acting like, yo, I'm fighting with a lightsaber and shit. Like they forgot about all of that, and they wanted to focus so much on diversifying, right? Saying, oh, female lead, diverse cast, all this stuff. And like you said, they forgot about the story. They forgot about the heart of it, the whole fantasy part of it. And like they killed Star Wars. And the only thing they got right now that they've came out, you know, ever since they bought it, that is really like sparking, you know, that heart is Baby Yoda. And you see him everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna milk the shit out of that, but they don't know what else to do. I heard like the parks, they just jack up the prices again because nobody's going. So the one or two people that are going, they're gonna gouge the shit out of them. And you know, unfortunately, yeah, I got kids. I'm gonna end up going because they're growing. You know, I'm feeding them the good pieces of Star Wars that they're still inspired by. So I'm like, I'm gonna go, and like they're gonna spend the day. They're gonna build their lightsaber. They're gonna build their little robot, and then we're gonna leave. Like we're probably not gonna go to any of the other parks because it's like, I don't know, man. There's something, Disney's losing their magic, man, and it's sad. It's sad because I don't want them to. I don't. I love that how Disney was. I love, you know, Pixar. I love Marvel. I love Star Wars. I love the old '90s movies. All those movies were hit. You know, bangers after bangers after bangers after bangers. Right? They were all hits, and I don't know what they're doing. They're just killing everything, man.
They lose go broke. Old characters. They make more with newer people like Rey.
Yeah, but nobody likes her. She's not relatable, you know, because once again, there's these new rules in Hollywood. You can look them up. I don't know what they are, but I forgot the name of it, but there was a TV show that kind of mentioned it, where the rules are like a woman has to stand on her own 2 feet. A man cannot teach her. A man cannot beat her. Right? There's so many stuff, and all that contradicts that hero's journey. Because every good movie where there's the hero's journey, the villain knocks him down the first act, knocks him down the second act, and by the third act, that's where we see that growth in the hero, where he finally conquers the villain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with these rules, the villain can't be female, right? So the villain has to be a male, but then the villain can't conquer over the hero, which is the female, right? So, there it is. I knew
Special
there was the
test
name for
rules
it.
for female approved movies.
Yeah, so these are the rules that they have out here, and then this is like I said, it contradicts the natural development of that hero's journey. So you're contradicting that. That's why everything is trash, because what it ends up doing is you end up creating Ray, who's they call her Mary Sue, but she's just like she doesn't work up to her power level. Using that analogy from Dragon Ball Z, right? She's just instantly at this Super Saiyan level 3, and like she's winning at everything. And like nobody wants to see that. They want to see that montage of everybody, power leveling. Like, all right, you work from power level 1, work to power level 2, and then by the finale, you're at power level 3. That's where the villain is, and then through that final battle, you reach power level 4 and you overtake the villain, right? We don't see that no more. So it's like, that's why all these movies are all these shows, it's just garbage. Garbage after garbage after garbage. I'm telling you, the only thing that's good right now is House of Dragon, Lynn. Which I love.
Which I keep forgetting to look up, which is crazy. Like, last night. So this is how I watch TV, guys, because I try and avoid watching TV. So when I do watch it, I seriously just go through and I watch like an hour of trailers. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, like this seems pretty cool. I'll add that to my watch list, but I don't actually watch anything. That's what I did last night. I was bored. I was like, let me turn on the TV, and I just watched a bunch of trailers. Like, I don't even have like Netflix or Hulu anymore. Like, I was watching trailers on Tubi.
Oh shit, Tubi! Did it Tubi change his name to like Freevee or something?
No, it's still Tubi on my. It's like the app is.
There's a new one. It's like Freevee or something like that, and yeah. Which is, it's crazy that I'm actually like telling you to go watch House of Dragons, because I really thought I would never come back to Game of Thrones anything. I swore that universe off. I was like, yo, you did me dirty. I don't ever want to watch Game of Thrones. I don't ever want to watch any of your spin-offs or anything like that. And I don't know why, but all of a sudden I was just like, oh, let me just watch the first episode. Let me see how bad it is, right? Because listen, She-Hulk is garbage. All the Star Wars shows are garbage. The Lord of the Ring thing is garbage, right? So everything, like I was just like, let me just laugh at how bad the garbage this was, right? Because it left a really bad taste in my mouth. Mm-hmm. And so then I go and I'm like, wow, this first episode wasn't that bad. It left me intrigued. Now I'm just like, yo, give me more. This is like the best thing on TV. I'm like, give me more. I'm starving. It's like I can't get enough of it.
So Freevee is Amazon Prime's version of Tubi.
I thought so. So I got a Fire Stick. So I keep seeing Freevee. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching that. There's a comedy show on it that's actually kind of funny. I think it's Sprung. That's what it's called. Where it's like these inmates were let loose because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And so they're out, but they don't know any way to like survive. So they start like developing like different schemes to make money. So I was watching that. That's kind of funny. It was like a little comedy show that they had on there.
Okay.
Yeah, so Fuzz said, Ray is too small. We need a Lucy Lawless or Gina Carano. And they had Gina Carano. They had her. And they freaking fired her ass because she made some she made some comparison as far as how people are going crazy these days, and kind of was like hinting at like, if you ever wonder why the Nazis got away with things during World War II, look at today. That was pretty much what she said. That was her comment. And they were like, oh, that she's making anti-Semitic remarks. So they fired her from The Mandalorian. And I'm telling you, here's exactly what Disney kept saying. Like, yo, princess doesn't have to look all pretty, doesn't have to be a princess. Look, she's she was prior MMA, right? She was doing MMA, she was with the UFC, all this stuff. She's a fighter, she looks good. She was like the ideal candidate for what Disney's message is all about. And they fired her because she doesn't have the same think as them. And she didn't even say anything crazy, just like Kanye. Kanye didn't even say anything crazy. and Twitter locked him out of Twitter. Now the banks are like, they don't want to do any business with him. Like, he's getting canceled all because he said, like, I'm going to go in on the Jewish community. Once again, if you want to know who's in charge, see the ones you cannot talk bad about. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And that's what Kanye said. He was like, yo, I'm going to go in. I want to put some truth out here. And they were like, okay, canceled.
That's crazy. It's crazy to think that, you know, banks would say, hey, I don't want to do business with somebody. Like, are you serious? You know how much money Kanye has?
I know, but that's where we are. We're at that point where it's like, if you're socially ousted, it reminds me of that Black Mirror's episode where everybody had their little scores, and if your score dropped down to a 3, like, you were kind of like blurred out in people's visions. Like, people had like this, like you had inside your head, you had this chip, right? And as you're scanning around, it was like AR. So like you would scan around, like you would see things. And so everybody had their like score, kind of like, you know, when you do Uber Eats or Uber and you get rated and you got a score. So everybody would have their score, and it would be all through interaction. So as you deal with people, like let's say when you go get coffee, right? You would go and you give the waitress a score depending on how she served you, and then she would give you a score depending on how you were as a customer, right? So this one lady, like, for whatever reason, her score started dropping, and she was trying to, like, you know, backpedal and try to do it, and her score kept dropping. And eventually, when you got below like to like a 3, the AR thing would just blur you out. Like, you were blocked from society. So that's what's happening to Kanye right now. He's getting blocked from society.
God. It's like, you know what? There's humor in it, but at the same time, it's a little scary because that's where we're headed. That's exactly where we're headed, and we're kind of there with, you know, with this cancel culture.
But I don't know. I do believe it. That some of this stuff is written like biblically too. Like, I was told, they were like, oh shit, what was this? Was when I was in the Marines. One of my sergeants, he told me, he was like, listen, if you ever see, you know, the Jews get pushed out of their homes again, because it happened twice in history, then that's supposed to be like the second coming of Christ and like the start of like, you know,
the end of days.
Revelations and end of days. Yeah. So understand, throughout history, they were, you know, persecuted by everybody else, right? So what makes you think that they wouldn't want to do things where everybody else is fighting each other and kind of leave them at, you know, let them be? That's all I'm saying. Because if I say any more, we're gonna get cut. I would get canceled. You can't talk bad about them.
AJ lost $1 billion for spreading conspiracy theories about Sandy Hook shootings.
Alex Jones, pull that up. Wow. That was last night. Alex Jones. So here's a personality. He has his own business, his own show, right? And because he said what they misconstrued as false news, right? He was fined $1 billion.
What?
And think about all the fake news that we've been listening to for the last 20 years. Think about like the events, right? Going into Iraq war, when the news were saying that there was weapons of mass destruction. They never got fined for that, right? Think about the bankers, because, you know, all these memes are popping up, and I'm like, holy shit. Think about the bankers that collapsed our financial industry at, you know, back in 2008. I think the highest fine that they were hit with was like $500 million. Dude got hit with a $1 billion fine. Think about the whole lie about Russiagate, that they said it for 4 years, right? All that lies. Nothing, none of that was ever shown, right? Or no fines for any of that, right? Think about,
I mean, just far like, worse and paid far less.
Yes, exactly. And he's getting hit. And once again, this is to go and scare anybody else out there who wants to go against any narrative that mainstream media puts out there. And of course, we know who controls mainstream media, right? So it's really anybody who wants to go against the government, you're going to get destroyed. You're going to either get canceled like Kanye, you're going to get labeled like Elon, or you're going to get fined like Alex Jones. This is crazy. But the more people do this, the more they do this, the more people are waking up, which is, it freaking amazes me when I see things like that. Because look at, do you know the actor Russell Brand? he started, just talking about certain things that he saw, going down the rabbit hole. And then recently, I think YouTube blocked him. So he publicly came out and he was like, yo, I'm switching over to Rumble. I was like, if you want to censor me, I'm going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
PayPal the other day said if you spread misinformation, they were going to fine you $2,500 to your account. So people just started jumping ship from PayPal, closing their accounts. Their stocks crashed.
That's so crazy because, like,
what's misinformation? Whatever they deem.
Right. When we live in a society, in a time in our society where everything's misinformation.
Yes. So if you go against the narrative, you go against the agenda, they're gonna hit your PayPal account with $2,500. Boom, just taken out of your account because they deemed it misinformation. Mind you, who's fact checking the fact checkers?
Yeah.
Once again, it's all spin to one side, one narrative. And we see it. Look at what's happening to Kanye.
Yeah.
Banks don't want to deal with him no more. That's crazy.
Takes about 2 weeks to stop the spread.
Well, think about that. Yeah, that was a lie too. That was a lie too. And all the misinformation we heard throughout COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just came out. They just came out and said that the Pfizer never tested to see if the vax would stop the spread of COVID. So you remember when they gave everybody the guilt trip saying, like, if you don't get the vax, you're killing people?
Mm-hmm.
That was all a lie.
Mm.
And who holds them accountable? Where's the accountability in that?
Right. Right.
And then once again,
class act lawsuit. Send me some money, thank you.
Exactly, right. So everybody who got the vax should be getting some kind of money.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, we forced this on you. Sorry, here's our payday. I'm glad I didn't take that shit. And of course, us talking about it, and this is news, we're gonna get striked. YouTube is gonna shut it down. Or misinformation, all that shit. Like who governs that? It turned out that Facebook, the FBI told them to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story during the election. How's that not like obvious election fraud or election tampering? Like, how is that not questioned? I don't know, man. But once again, more people are awakening. So I have a smile on my face that the more crazy this shit gets, because more and more I'm seeing people come out and talk against all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Like, I have friends who, they're like, man, some of these shows are corny. I don't know why, but they are. Like, they're questioning it.
Yeah.
Because the more you see it in Disney, the more you see it in Amazon, the more you see it, like, they're going hard left into it. The more you hear of, like, Tulsi Gabbard saying, I'm done with that party. Mm-hmm. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. You guys are going crazy. They're losing more and more people.
Elections in 4 weeks. Wow, we're just 4 weeks away.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about the Saudis? So the Saudis came out. What was it? I think. What's the company that controls oil? OPEC, right? I think that's what the acronym is. OPEC. So they came out and they showed evidence that Biden was trying to, like, negotiate with them, or begging and pleading, like, hey, can you keep the prices of gas low until after the election? And so they came out and they showed it. They were like, yeah, no, look, we're jacking up prices. So, like, by me, gas already shot up like 50 cents.
Wow. So
the one thing he has to tout on, like, oh, I dropped gas prices down. Like, he was saying the other day, he was like, I dropped gas prices down to like $1. I dropped it down $1.50. Mm-hmm. Mind you, it shot up already like $3 from when he took office. Right. So $1.50 is nothing, right? But he was like touting that, and now it's going back up right before the election. So. Oh no!
Right. I think I figured out the audio issues.
Good.
Let's take a look at the video. Yeah.
Buckle in. I'm going to get brutally honest. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Who created these monsters? We did. We birthed them. We nursed them. We read their little nursery rhymes and sang the little songs. We taught them in their preschools and their kindergartens and their first and third grades. White women craft their own gilded cage. And we do it by raising little misogynistic, patriarchal tyrants. We raise the little boys who grow up to be the Donald Trumps, the Mitch McConnells, the Greg Locks of this world. White women raised them.
Time
Now
out.
I hear you on the last sentence.
Time
When
out.
these little
Okay.
Time out. No, you didn't, because they all had a father figure in their lives that was more influential than you and their mother. I'm sorry, but Donald Trump was more influenced by his dad. Mind you, he's also a billionaire. So as much as you want to like be on the side and tear him down, you can do that. But he had a father figure and he was successful in business. Some people might call it out and be like, "Oh, he went bankrupt multiple times." That's just playing the game. Oh, he doesn't pay taxes. That's just knowing the loopholes, right? At the end of the day, the dude is still a billionaire, and he still had a father figure. So I really don't know what she's going off on, other than she wants to get clicks on TikTok. And there's going to be a bunch of them, and this is the toxicity. This to me is feminine, toxic femininity, right? This is what that is. So if you want to talk about masculine, toxic masculinity, right, which is the obvious thing, right, that everybody's out here all hammering on everybody's head. This is it right here. This is that subconscious toxic femininity that nobody wants to talk about. So once again, the family structure that Donald Trump's dad had and held together, they want to bash that and say, "Oh no, I don't know. I'm going on a rant now."
little tyrants grow up and abuse us, and we speak out about it, yeah, we're going to be institutionalized. We'll be called crazy. And this hits home personally. One of my grandmothers was institutionalized. And when I look back at her story, I'm convinced she had complex PTSD because of domestic violence. I don't think she was crazy at all.
I'm done. I'm checked out.
And we could look at her life specifically and see what kind of choices did she really have. I mean, it was her husband, my grandfather, who crafted her fate. But as a whole, white women raise the white boys who grow up to be the tyrants. And until we own that fact, it will be a perpetual truth. The truth is, most white women are perfectly fine in the comfort of their gilded cage. Family first, America first, and all that garbage. Buckle in, I'm going to get brutally honest.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really went in just now. I really don't. Damn, I'm gonna need to watch that like 3 times before I can really like say.
Please don't. You summarized it. She's a typical feminist that hates America. That's what it is, and hates families and hates men. That's it. That's all it is. And then she wants white women, not just white women. She just wants women in general to treat not their kids, but their sons like shit because they're born as a man. And sadly,
That's what you got from it. That's not what I got from it. I felt like she's trying to say, like, damn, like, all right, I don't know what she's trying to say, but my personal opinion is that when there is a mother and a father in the household, the dad is still the head of the household. As much as we want to say, oh, men don't have this, yada, yada. Yes, they do. Because if that man is there and they're enforcing whatever rules or expectations they have in the household, the kid's going to follow that. If the dad is not enforcing it, if the dad's disrespecting the mom and everything, the children are going to follow that lead. It doesn't matter whether you have a great marriage or a bad marriage. The children are going to follow the man's lead.
She literally said that her grandmother has PTSD because her grandfather took that leadership role as that father figure. That's what she said in that statement. And in the end, she said, fuck the family and fuck America. I don't know who the hell is listening to this, but that's toxic as all hell. Like, why would anybody want to listen to that? So a man who takes the lead in his marriage and in his family, who's a good provider, who does everything. He's toxic anyway because he's taking the lead. That's what she's saying. And sad thing about it is, I was just having this conversation this morning in my men's group about this whole thing. And I told, because it's a young guy who's getting, that one-eyed itch. He's starting to feel for this girl and all that. And like, he's having these conversations about, the roles in the relationship. And he believes like a man should have that, father role, that patriarch role, and she should have that matriarch role as far as the, the home and everything. And she's, coming, typical feminist, modern day woman saying, no, 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 right? And I told him, I was like, man, if you're on your purpose and you're doing your thing, you don't have those kind of conversations. You don't. You don't. Because once you're that man who has his home, who has a good job, bought that house, right? And you're coming and going, and you're like I said, the analogy, you're a train going to that final destination, and the women are just coming along on the stops. When she has that sense that you are on your purpose, you're not going to bend that for no one, and that if she acts up, there's the door. I guarantee once she leaves out that door and she looks all around, there's nothing at your level, she's going to come back. And this is where the women will be submissive, because you're on your purpose. And that's what a lot of guys out here get twisted. They are not on their purpose. They're about, the women's purpose, or they're about chasing women, and they're not focusing on that. And then they wonder why these women are disrespecting them. Mm-hmm. And the guy, of course, he's all on the Disney fairy tale where he's all about like, oh, I want her to love me, love, 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 love. And I'm like, fuck love. You want to worry about respect. You want her to respect you. And how does she respect you? When you're on your purpose, when you respect yourself. Be that guy who there's no comparison to you. When she looks around and she goes back to that other dude and she's like, man, you ain't got shit. I had a good life. What am I doing? That's when she'll have scarcity mentality in a good way, because she's like,
like if a woman chooses to leave a relationship where the man does have his stuff and he has like, his focus and he's growing, he's worrying about his future and he's taking care of business. If a woman chooses to leave that situation, there is no, oh, let me go back to it. Like she left, like missed opportunity. He's supposed to continue.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Like if he's on his purpose, he's not going to take her back. Of course. But I'm saying like she's not going to leave. She's going to have that scarcity mentality. She's going to be like, I know what's out there, and I'm not going to fuck this up. Mm-hmm. Because this guy's got his shit together.
I think you're giving him good advice, because it's true. Like if that's what he believes in, that should already be emulated in the relationship. Otherwise he's not sticking to what he believes in. Then he's dating somebody who has different beliefs than him.
He's already trying to make excuses for her. And once you start making excuses, she's going to lose respect for you, bro.
Right. And that's a key right there. That's a key. I will take respect over love in the relationship.
Yeah, me too. Because women, I hate to say it, but women love the silliest things out here, man. So love is like water, man. You want respect, which is like that diamond in the rough. Once she respects you, that's it. But once you lose,
it's not just women.
You're never gonna get it back.
Our society in general, we're so quick to say, "Oh, I love this. Oh, I love that." You could be walking in a store and you're like, "Oh, I love this. Oh my god." But really, like if we were to pull back like other cultures do and only use love for stuff that we actually love, there would be more meaning behind the word. But in our society, love is just another word that we throw out there and we toss it around like it's nothing. It doesn't hold the value that it once did. And, respect is something that you need in a relationship, and it's both ways. The man should respect the man. It should be a mutual respect. Mm-hmm. But love is something that, we just toss that word around and we really don't hold value behind it because of how loosely we throw it around.
Yeah. So I'm like, look, stop being about words. Stop talking about all this stuff. Be about action. You got to keep coming and going. You got to make sure that it hurts. Listen, it hurts when you get attached to somebody. But, once she shows that she's going to break your boundaries and you show her the door, you keep moving on. You keep moving forward. So honestly, Lena, did we lose you? Are you coming back?
I'm
What's
still
going on?
here. I can hear you. I have a low signal or whatever, but
Okay.
I can still hear you guys.
All right, cool. So yeah, my thing is like and this is what I'm telling a lot of guys, you know, if you're gonna date modern women, you gotta be a modern dude. And being a modern dude means you gotta be on your purpose. You gotta be cleaned up, you gotta be on your purpose, and you gotta have an abundance mentality. You gotta know that they're a dime a dozen. And I even told him this analogy. I was like, listen, how are you gonna know you found the right one if you haven't rolled in the mud and played with the pigs first? Like, how are you gonna know you found a unicorn if you haven't played with the pigs first? And that's the thing. It's like you got to do that. And a lot of guys don't realize that, like, yo, like she should compliment you. She shouldn't be your whole purpose.
Yeah.
It's like guys are talking about marriage. I'm like, what do you got together? Like, what do you do with yourself? What's your purpose? Oh, my purpose is her. You know, making a life together. I'm like, no, dog. That's not your purpose. Your purpose should be your kingdom. And you should be building that kingdom solo, and then find somebody who, one, is not going to wreck that kingdom, right? Who's going to complement that kingdom. So, and of course, I use the typical ones. I'm like, listen, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, right? Adam Levine from Maroon 5 cheated on his wife. She was like, I'm cool with it. Don't be Will Smith. Don't be Will Smith, fellas. Don't be Will Smith. So, it is what it is.
Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. There's truth in it, but damn.
Trust me, if you found that dude who had his shit together, because once again, you dealt with a lot of little boys with little boy energy. You didn't say on the show you were a sugar mama and all that. Let you find that dude who has a house, who has a car, who has his shit together, who's coming and going. He dresses right, dresses all that. He's on another level. I guarantee you will put up with his ass cheating every once in a while, as long as he made you the main, right? As long as he's respecting you as the main, you would put up with that shit. Because that's a guy
I'm not
about his
willing to
shit.
decide or the main. I'm the only one he should be entertaining.
But you know how men are when it comes to sex. And you got to understand that this guy has a way with women because that's how he is. That's how he's built.
No, and that's true. And that's something I've said on the show before, you know, like I do believe that and cheating is different than the woman cheating. And it is something that I've tried to work through in relationships before. And it's something that I would try to work through in the right relationship in the future.
Yeah. But I think the reason why you didn't tolerate it before was because, you know, they still had that little boy energy. It's like, dude, you're cheating on me and you don't even got your shit together.
Right.
So
right. You don't have your shit together.
I deserve better. And I guarantee that. But the dude who has his shit together, you're gonna deal with that because you know that men and women cheat differently. Women cheat because they disrespect their man.
I also
men
believe that if I find the right one, I'm not gonna have to deal with any of that. Okay.
Oh, you will, because if you find the right one, he's not gonna be this nice boy chump. He's not gonna be a nice guy. He's gonna be cutthroat. He's gonna know what he has to do in life. And a guy like that, trust me, women are throwing themselves at them, right? Women are throwing themselves at him.
Women
so
are
how's
throwing
he gonna turn
at everyone? It's not even like, hey, you have a great man. Women are throwing themselves at him. Like, no, it's like every guy out here, you should be getting something because women are throwing themselves around.
Yes.
It's become like the cool thing to do to just be promiscuous and allow
sexually open,
touching on you, like ew.
Well, yeah, so like he's especially when you know the difference. Like women have been having men thrown at them since they have boobs, right? Whereas men gotta earn that shit, right? So he finally he earned that his place in life. He has that status. Like, all right, I get it. But, he takes care of me. He goes on lock. He has me in his inner circle, right? That. You're like, bitch, you're just a toy for him. Whereas when women cheat on their men, it's just like, yo, she just has no respect for you, bro. You're never going to get that respect back. You might as well start all over. But guys don't want to hear that, man. They think you're killing their Disney fantasy when you say things like that. Like, no, you gotta be faithful, and you gotta be, 50-50. You gotta have a partner in your relationship. It's all about being a partner and talking to her and listening to her needs and conversation and all. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You
But
do
that
that,
is
and
true.
she's
You should have all
no,
that. You should
that's
have
not
great
true. You
communication.
do
If
all
you
that shit. If you do all that shit, you're showing her that you're all about her. You're not about your purpose. Then all that's gonna do is eventually she's just gonna keep pushing boundaries and she's gonna lose respect.
You see, but you always paint things as though it's black or white. Like you can only have one or the other. And I don't believe that. I believe like, like there could be a guy who has their shit together, like they have their drive, they're growing in life, and they still have that, hey, like I have respect for women. And I don't see them
Give
as
you
just
I'll
like
give you
sex
my
objects.
two I'll give you my two scenarios, two friends, real life scenarios. My one friend, he was out in California, always hustling, always grinding. Dude's a millionaire, has a nice house in the Bay Area, right? His wife is like, she's gorgeous, gorgeous wife, beautiful kids. Um, Dude was always on his hustle, on his grind. He was on his purpose before he met her, and he's gonna be on his purpose before, if she ever walks out. And trust, he's gotten called multiple times, and she's always gonna be by his side.
Mhm.
And the conversations I hear when they talk is none of all this stuff like, oh, do you respect me? Or oh, all this. No. He says something and she does it. That's
Mhm.
it. That's how it is. Or she'll bring to his attention, hey, the kids want to do this, kids want to do that, blah, 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 blah. He's like, okay, all right, cool, all right. There's never this kind of deep conversation that these men are having with women where it's like you're giving them the power. It's like women naturally want to submit, but they want to submit to the right guy. That's the right guy. He was on his purpose, and he's always on his purpose. Every
Mhm.
time I talk to every time I talk to him, he's on a different role, a different job. He's moving, he's coming, he's making moves,
Mhm.
right? Always traveling for work. He's big names on this company, big name with this company, big name on this company, right? Dude's making life. He's the top 10%, right? He's not having these conversations with his wife. He has too much on his plate to do things like that.
I don't
Then I got the
agree.
other friend. All right, then here's the other scenario. My other friend, right? Every time I
Mhm.
go over to the house, he's getting belittled right in front of me by his wife. His wife is always talking bad about him, right? He doesn't put his foot down. Whenever there's a decision to be made, he always consults her. He can't make a decision on his own. He doesn't have a backbone, right? Kids, I don't even want to touch the kids because they're just a hot mess, right? There's
Mhm.
no father figure in that scenario. He's in a dead end job. He doesn't like his job. He's not, he made this purpose about the wife, and the wife lost complete respect. They may be in a marriage, but they're not happily in that marriage.
Mhm.
So which one do you want to be, fellas? Which one do you want to be? I mean, in both cases, they stuck around, but which wife do you think is happy? I don't know. The one who's always belittling her husband in front of everybody, making it seem like she made a bad choice. Mind you, she did gain weight. I think if I was to rate her, she's like a 4 at best. But it's like I sound mean, but this is
Oh,
reality. This is the reality, man. This is the reality. This is the
that says
reality,
I'm
man.
solo dolo. Oh my god.
And it's okay to be like that. I tell fellows out here, yo, be on monk mode, be on your purpose until you build your kingdom, until you figure out what is it that you listen. A lot of guys have this mentality of putting women on a pedestal, and this is
Mhm.
what gets them in trouble. It's like when you're on your purpose, you're putting yourself on that pedestal. I'm not saying to be narcissistic. I'm not saying to be like that, but a lot of women have their own self-interest,
Mhm.
right? Women are all about their self-preservation. That's what they're all about. So why should men be about, oh, I met you and I'm gonna put you on the pedestal? That doesn't make any sense to me. Be on your purpose. And ironically, every guy I known, be it in the Marines, be it high school, be it whatever, the guys who were like that had game and was like constantly with a lot of women, they're
Mhm.
the ones who made it in life. So there got to be some correlation there. Like once you learn how to talk to women, you know how to talk to everybody else. You know how to like hustle and grind, right? Once you know how to hustle to get some nana, you know how to hustle to get everything else, right?
Mhm.
It's like some kind of intricate like sales tactics and business, like just by learning game. So it's like I look. I'm talking about life experience. Everybody I know, I'm like, oh man, this guy really made it. Hey, it makes sense. He was a player back in the day. And there's one guy I know who was like super player back in high school. And like I recently like connected with him, and like he got that whole one night. His got up was all about his wife and all that. Now he's like a lunatic liberal. Like he hates Trump, voted for Biden. It's all about this. I'm like, oh my god, I can't even talk to you, dog. I can't talk to you. You're just you've been drinking the Kool-Aid. So, I've been ranting too long. No, I'll put you. I'll let you put your opinion in that clip, man. That clip got me started. Go ahead, man. Take over. It's been like an hour for the show, and I've just been ranting all morning long.
Well, no, I'm starting to think of like, like the ladies who I know, but really I only know 2 women who are married. Yeah, the ones like they're separated. They're going through a divorce. Like that was
right,
even
but aren't they?
But
your girls, you said too. They're always talking shit about their dude. Why? Because they don't respect him.
All right. So the one who is married, she doesn't talk bad about her husband. And like every time we're like, oh, let's plan this, let's do that. She's always like, all right, well, I have to check in with my husband. Like she does respect her man, and she's been with him since high school. They have 2 beautiful children together, and like they're building their life together. So she's really the only one that can say like, oh, I have a friend who's married, and she does carry herself differently than, my other girlfriends. But the ones who are in relationships and they're like, hey, like I have 2 girlfriends who are in relationships. They've been in these relationships for 9 years, 10 years. And for 9 years, 10 years, they've just been dealing with bullshit. Like, what are you doing? That's stupid. I'm sorry, but you're not growing. You're not building. You're stuck, and you need to move on. I feel like and it sucks too, because I know like from my perspective, like I'm not married and I could talk all this shit because I'm not yada yada. I don't care. The fact is, like, I've been in bad relationships. I've been in good relationships. I see the difference. And I know damn well that, a lot of women, much like myself, we try too hard with the wrong men. It's okay to let go. Like, like when you find somebody who is the right one, it is easy. And, like that's where you should be putting the effort in. That's where you should be saying like, hey, let me hold on to this. Let's build something.
But they ain't listening, right?
I mean, when you're with somebody for 10 years, at that point, like, they're not going to listen to nobody. They're not going to listen to nobody.
That's why, listen, honestly, I really do think that arranged marriages is dope. I think we need that in society. I think the majority of people need that. It's like, listen, stop making these boneheaded moves. Stop thinking with your, your genitals, and start thinking with your brain, and start thinking like, yo, and who's gonna have your back the most is your family, your friends, because that's how they screen it, right? They go and they're like, hey, this is a potential candidate, and then you meet the family, they meet the friends, and meet all that stuff. It's like, but it's funny because people get into it. Like I was there. I was in a relationship where I wasn't listening to nobody. I wasn't listening to you. I wasn't listening to mom. I wasn't listening to my aunts. I wasn't listening to nobody. Friends, nobody.
That's why they say like, love is blind. Like you put on your blinders. Like, you're just like, oh, this is who I'm with.
That's why I'm all for arranged marriages.
I would, Fuzz. I'd be open to Ray introducing me to, men he thinks are potential candidates. I would so be open to that because I know Ray would choose them well. But
you know what's
Ray
sad?
My man? Hell no.
You know what's sad though? I wouldn't even have any potential candidates for you, Lynn. I really don't, because I tend to not hang around. Like once I find out what a dude is made of, I tend to cut him off. And like I'm telling you, there's a lot of little boy energy out here. So I really don't have any friends to offer you because I'm not friends with anybody. Once I'm like, yo, you're not on your purpose, you're this, you're that, I cut people off. Because I'm trying to be on my purpose. So it's like, unless you can help me grow and we can grow together, I'm cutting you out of my life. This is why, like,
I
I don't
also
know. In a
say
way, I
hell
do feel
no.
like I'm antisocial.
I also say hell no to Ray choosing my man for the same reason. Like, so my thought before when Ray was like, oh, you know, like that's kind of like a stage when you have a potential candidate, you introduce them to your friends, to your family. Your friends and family most likely are going to be like, oh, yeah, yada, yada, he's so good because that person's putting their best foot forward. Your friends
Correct.
and family most of the time doesn't know what the hell's going on in your relationship. They don't know the truth. They don't know the bullshit you're dealing with, the ups and the downs, because normally people try and keep that private. They try and keep that within the relationship. So I don't think friends and family are a good gauge as to, oh, he's so great for you.
That's
Like,
why.
no, they don't know the truth.
Correct. And that's modern, but that's modern dating. That's why you need to do it where you're all meeting the guy at the very first time, right? Like, listen, I've seen how arranged marriages work. Like, they have a profile. It's almost like they have a resume. And like, you're meeting the person for the first time. The family's meeting them, right? Their family knows that guy's family or that girl's family, right? It's all well connected. So it's like, and these marriages last long because it's like, you know, there's a social construct there. It's like you don't want to let the families and everybody who put this effort in, you know, you don't want to let them down. Which I would argue, you know, modern feminism wants you to believe that the patriarch was so horrible. But I would imagine to guess that back in the 50s, and within their confines of their home, I guarantee the husband was having conversations with the wife. You know, of course, there was those marriages where he was backhanding her and all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like typical, like, you know, just maybe your average, right? They were having conversations. They were having conversations within the confine of their home, right? And what kept them together, which they want to say is a social construct, was the shame of everybody else. Let you dip out on your husband and you were, you know, that scarlet letter. Oh my God, she's a homewrecker, right? That talking, that shaming of the society is what kept those marriages together. But I guarantee between the home, I cannot believe that, you know, they weren't talking to each other. Like, he wasn't coming home and was like, oh my God, my boss, I hate that dude. And then she was like, oh, well, what are you going to do? You know, maybe you should start looking for, yeah, I think I should start looking for. That's what they say, behind every great man, there's a good woman, right? Because once again, men and women, we need each other. We complement each other. So as much as they're like, oh, this guy, you know, he believes in the patriarch and he wants to be the man of the house. And he's like, well, I say go. That's not how it is. It's not like that. I guarantee he could be, you know, working and all that, but he's taking her input. They're talking about things because humans are humans. I got to de-stress when I come home. Right? So I don't believe that. I believe that, like, in a society, and that's why these arranged marriages, they had that social construct to make it want to work.
Right. So my Indian friends know the girls since birth. The parents used to use the kids to merge two families.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It was about families, about
and that's
legacy.
really what a marriage is supposed to be. You're supposed to be bringing two families together, and then you guys have kids, and everybody's helping raise the kids. It takes a village.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like, I'm watching these shows and it's like legacy and the name was so prestigious. Nowadays, look at the biggest disrespect in getting married when a woman doesn't want to even take your name. She's holding on to, and her name's not even her name. She's holding on to the name that is her father's last name. So in your life, she's telling you there's another man that is more higher than you. When she doesn't want, or she hyphenates the name. I'm like, that to me is like, just, I don't understand that. Like, I would never want to marry somebody who's not going to take my name. It's like, you coming into my kingdom and you want to take on my name? Like, why are you coming here? Like, I don't understand that. Hyphenating the kids' names? I'm like, hell no. I'm like, oh, I don't know. To me, it's kind of weird.
Tell you what, that's one of my biggest regrets is giving my children their father's name without us being married. I feel like I should have given all my children my last name. Fuck those men.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's all
That's something that we're not taught, though. That's not something that we discuss, and you know, we don't have like those different generations to lean on and to ask for advice and guidance.
But like what you also said too, I was, you know, when my son was coming into the picture, I was also like, I didn't want him to be a bastard, right? I didn't want to do it out of wedlock, right? So, you know, I shotgun wedding, right? It was what it was. But that's just me. You know, that's why I wanted, like, I ensure, like you said, I married her so that he had my name, right?
Right.
So he wouldn't have the dual names and be, you know, a Snow.
The men are taking the women's
A
last name.
Snow.
Yes. I've seen
That's
that
crazy.
too.
That's crazy. And then you do that, and then you ask, like, how do you expect her to like, how is she ever going to respect you? How is she going to ever respect you? Like, what's the values in that? That's like, those are the guys who their women then go say, oh, I'm going to have an open marriage. And then the next thing you know, the boyfriend's moving into the house. And he's like, oh, I mean, we're new age. We're like a polygamy relationship. And she's like, hey, I'm like, dog, what are you doing with yourself? Are you doing that? No, because I have no game. And I got scarcity mentality, and I don't want to lose her. So she's having all the fun, and you ain't doing shit, right? I don't know. It's crazy out here watching all this. But it is what it is.
I feel like having multiple husbands, that's too complicated, man. That's way too complicated. I mean, I like the idea of like, oh, this one's a chef and he cooks every night, and this one loves to clean. But other than that,
what are you bringing? What are you bringing to the table with all these dudes doing everything?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, having multiple husbands, that's ridiculous. I can't even handle multiple boyfriends. Like, I don't.
Are you gonna be the one working?
Hell no. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not for me.
You gotta at least be the one. You gotta at least be the one working. You gotta.
I thought about like the whole like watching the shows like Sister Wives and stuff like that. I thought about. I'm like, you know what? That doesn't seem like a bad arrangement. Having like 3 houses with like the backyards all share the backyard and shit. That doesn't seem bad. But in actuality, I'm no.
So I was asked the question. I was asked the question the other day. I was like, I was told, I was like, aren't you being a hypocrite where you're like, you don't want to date single women, but you have kids? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, but I can afford my kids. Mm. And I just left it at that. I was like, it's my kingdom. I can afford my kids.
Yeah.
If you're coming in with your kids, you're going to eventually want me to take care of your kids, right?
Right.
I'm not doing that again. I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be my seed. Simple as that. It's like, no, I can afford my kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I try not to be a jealous person, but if I had to like share my husband, that I think the jealousy would kick in and my bitchiness would come out. I would be the problem. I would be the problem with multiple wives. I would be the problem one.
I mean, they did have their problems, but listen, look, think about every marriage. Every marriage, at some point, you get tired, right? You get tired of each other. So the fact that you have somebody else that could take care of him, like, it was like, do you ever saw that TV show on HBO, Big Love? It was kind of like that, where they had 3 houses, they shared it together, so the neighborhood didn't seem like, you know, they were all living in the same house, and he was just like rotating on a schedule, like a weekly schedule, and they were doing things together. So it's like, and they had their space, they had their time. Like, you would like that. I think you would like that, but I think you would fit it so well, because on a Monday you could just chill back, put your feet on the table, watch your shows, and you're like, I don't have to deal with his ass. And then maybe you miss him by like Wednesday, and you're like, all right, sure, he's coming. All right, I'll make him dinner and all that. I think you would actually kind of like it. And then you got the sister wives to gossip and talk, and they can help you with the house and with the kids and all that. I'm telling you, that's how the show was. You should watch Big Love. Of course, you know, there was extra drama because they were like Mormons and they were like the church, and then, you know, it was a TV show, so they had to add the drama. But for the most part, I was like, man.
So I'm saying it doesn't look like a bad concept.
For the women, it looks bad for the dude, because the dude had to freaking work 3 times as hard. He had to have 3 homes. He had like 30 kids. No, he didn't have that many kids, but still, it's like, you got a lot of kids. You got to work hard. It's like, damn. For the dude, it's like, freak. But for the wives, it was like, you're doing only 1/3 of the work.
Mm-mm. Yeah, what happens when you're the one who gets stuck with all the kids?
You're doing 1/3 of the work. Yes, you get stuck with the kids, but then like the next one, you're like, all right, you're taking them. So like I said, you're doing 1/3 of the work, and he's doing 3 times the work.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good concept, but I thought further into it, and I was like, nah.
You should watch that show, Big Love. I think you should watch that one. I think you would like that show. I never finished it.
I
You gotta
always
finish
have
watching
like
The
a
Stranger.
running watch list every time we have our lives.
I know. The shows. It's like, yo, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch that.
Oh, I finally watched The Secret.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because it does like it's basically everything I believe in, you know?
Right.
But it's also it kind of brought together the whole like, you know, your thoughts create your feelings. And then The Secret was like, oh, your feelings is what's most important. So, you know, the whole like your thoughts create your feelings create your actions create your results. And I was just like, oh man, I just gotta focus more on my feelings.
And yeah, and the one where the guy was like, yo, he would sit, and he would just close his eyes and envision himself driving that car he wanted. I did that shit. I was doing that for the longest time when I wanted my truck. I always just sit back and think about like the camping trips and think about the model and all that and just the memories I would make. And that's what pushed me to actually start looking online. I would go online and start looking. Then once I started going online and I found one like locally and shit, then I started doing the financing behind it, right? And all that. And I was just like, yo, I'm really doing this? I'm really getting the truck? And sure enough, my truck is in the driveway and I made those memories. Because then I started thinking about like the road trips I want to do, which I started doing the road trips, right? So it's like, you know, you gotta, it's really that mindset. You gotta have that.
Plus, as I see sonic waves from Lynn's head, like that's just my aura. You know, I went to a yoga class last night and the focus was on growing your aura. And yeah, it's just shining today.
So you, man, look at you. You went to yoga. So you're like enhancing the body. You watch The Secret, enhancing the mind. Like, damn. Next you're going to be like, I went to church. I feel spiritually cleansed.
I almost went to church, actually. My youngest was like, he's like, what would I do if I go to church? I was like, how about we go and find out? And then he was like, nah, I don't want to. Ma said no, Lynn, because you will never be the special woman in his heart, mind, or body.
But do you want that? I mean, do you really want like this? I don't know. To me personally, it's like your parents are your past, right? The person you're with, your mate, is the present, but really your future is your children. So as long as you're in the hearts of your children, isn't that what you want? So your children are there when you grow old? Like I don't know. I hear what you're saying, Mom. Like, oh yeah, you're never gonna be number one, but it's like, are you really looking for that?
Fuss says it works every time with every person. He's currently manifesting Lynn's new boyfriend, soon to be husband. Fuss, I appreciate you.
You know what? I sent it to you, but we gotta play that comedy skit. The one where she's like, well, yeah, I made the list. And she's like, well, that guy is not going to be that guy. So she made 2 lists of the guys she wanted. She's like, so now I'm looking for fat dudes.
What?
Remember that comedy skit I sent you? It was like she was in the comedy club.
Yes,
and she was
but
like,
I didn't watch the whole thing.
So she was like that. Her friend was like, well, you got to manifest the guy you want. And so she was like, make the list of the guy you want. She was like, tall, this, and then she was like, well, but then and then the other list was like loyal, this, and she was like, yeah, that guy is not going to be that guy. So she was like, well, now I guess I'm looking for a fat dude.
Oh man, I should definitely play the clip.
Yeah, you got to finish it. It was like halfway through when she was talking about the list, and it's just hilarious because it's like, when women have this high standard of the dude, he's not going to be loyal, right? He's not going to be about her. He's not going to be all that. He's going to be like, listen, he's high standard. He knows that. You're throwing yourself at him that just like 100 other women are throwing themselves at him. So it's like, you need to come down with your standards if you want loyal, right? All this stuff. Like, she had the other list. It was like, oh, that shit was hilarious. You didn't watch it? You didn't watch the whole thing?
I did not watch the whole clip.
I forgot who it was. Let me see if I can see it in my history. So I can tell you. Oh, it was a while ago.
So my current like focus of my manifesting is on my crypto, and like, dude, I'm rich. It's freaking coming.
Oh, it's coming, but you're gonna see a massive dip before it comes.
Oof.
That's why I'm like all in cash right now because this shit's gonna crash. Inflation. Oh, that's what I was gonna get into. Inflation is higher. It came out. The numbers came out this morning. Stock market's crashing. Crypto's all crashing, and I do believe most market crashes happen in October. So I thought it was gonna happen like in the beginning of October. Who knows? Maybe it happens Monday coming up, but I think they said it's like a 52-week low right now. So it's bad out there. It's bad.
All right, Ma, thanks for checking in on us. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's and I don't see any
Weekend.
I don't see it getting any better because it seems like every month that goes by, inflation numbers just keep going up and up and up. So
I'm manifesting it. Don't worry, Ray. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow, and it's gonna be like, whoa.
Buzz is like Powerball and Mega Million jackpot are both 500 million. So get some numbers. You gotta start looking at the numbers and put your numbers together. That's a lot. I should play that. That would be life changing. Because remember that, what was it? Everybody was playing for the 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
The sad part about it is like the government takes more than you get.
Yeah, they do.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
I would take the lifetime. I'll be like, listen, I'm not trying to blow this right now. Even if I don't live the full lifetime, I'm taking the lifetime. So I know I get a stipend every year. I'll like pay me every year. Like it's a job.
Magdalene wins the lottery and loses her ticket, and the ex is home.
Oh, Lynn would be the one that has the balls to knock on the door. Yo, she went and knocked on the door when her phone broke. Bro, she will be knocking on the door. Excuse me, I gotta check your car real quick. I gotta check in your home too. And he's like, yo, we broke up. I don't care. I gotta check this out.
Don't worry about it. I just gotta find something. I'll be out of your hair, I promise.
Yeah. That would be the nicest Lynn's been in months to him too. She would be like, oh no, don't worry.
Still there, make yourself a sandwich. I'm gonna go check where I need to check.
Yeah, no, Lynn would not have no qualms going and getting that slip. Yo, so you know how we were talking about robots?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, have you seen the trailer for that movie Megan?
No.
Pull that up. Pull that
Megan.
trailer up. That shit was crazy. It's funny how we're like talking about stuff and then just like the universe is like, bam, here, you were on topic. Good. Pull that Megan trailer up. Yeah. Pull that shit. Let's watch that. I think we gotta probably talk over it. There's music, copyright strike and all that shit.
It was weird.
Oh, that's the ad. That's the ad.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Oh yeah. Mute that.
You lost
Disney,
your parents.
Welcome home.
You're my niece.
This is crazy, man.
Make this place feel
I want to talk over it
Just
for
wish I
copyright
could see
reasons.
them again.
Yo, when I saw this,
I don't even take care
I
of
was
my own
like,
plants.
I kind of want to see it.
I have this project.
It's
at
like
work.
Chucky
Do you want
2.0.
Yes.
Ever since I was little, I dreamed of this.
Oh, Lynn,
perfect
did you see the
toy
black
that
phone?
would protect a kid from
No.
ever feeling
That's a good one,
lonely
too. You should
or
watch
sad.
that. It's on
This is
Peacock.
Megan.
The
Hi,
black phone.
Megan. I'm Katie.
What the hell?
It's
Oh,
nice
hell
to
no.
meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
You think the robot's
Your goal
CGI or
is
is
to
that like
protect
actual
Katie from
girl
harm,
that they put in
both
makeup?
physical and emotional. Is that a doll?
Oh, I
Model 3
don't know.
generative.
It's a good
Android.
question.
Megan, for short.
I can't believe you made this. I love it.
Wanna hang out, yeah, sounds like fun.
That's a real kid.
It's nice
That's a kid with a mask and some gloves
It's
on.
honestly like
Yeah,
she's
you
part
think
of the
so?
family now.
Yeah.
They could be building emotional connections that are too hard to untangle.
She's
I don't know.
the
There's one
happiest
point in
she's
the
been
scene
since
where
her
I was
parents
like, I don't
Eat
know
the
if that's
toppings, Katie.
CGI or
Is this like a horror film?
Yeah, well, keep watching the trailer.
died. Is that so?
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Experts
I
say
got
turn
Chucky
off.
vibes from it.
Oh, she ain't like that
thought we
shit.
were having a conversation.
Ooh.
Does she talk? Make her say something.
Stop! Don't! Megan! You should probably run.
Oh my god! Oh, it's creepy when you're like running on the all porn.
Megan, she pushed Brandon onto the road. I won't let anything harm you.
Greg, turn off.
Recalibrating response model.
Holy crap!
Megan!
Yeah, that's a real kid doing TikTok dances and stuff.
What's wrong with you? Don't worry, Katie.
Oh
I won't
shit!
let anything harm you. Ever again.
It's nice to have.
Oh my god.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I got?
One. I'd see that one.
So you know what I got? I got the vibes was like, yo, so all movies show robots are gonna turn against you, right?
Right.
So all these dudes, all these lonely dudes want like their women replacement, and they're gonna be their female robot is gonna be like, you looked at the toaster. What's up with the toaster? Are you cheating on me? And the next thing you know, he's getting killed because he's fucking dealing with the toaster or some shit.
Oh my god. Their female robots are gonna block like all porn sites. Like, you're not allowed to watch porn.
Yeah, it's getting all jealous and shit.
Oh man.
But that's what we were talking about. We were like, yo, what would you do? Like, would you help? Because it started with good intentions. They were like, here's the robot. Because the little girl lost her family, right? She's an orphan now. Here's a robot to help console her. And I asked that. I was like, well, remember the movie? I
thought you left. I thought you had to go.
No, for me, no thanks. Yo, how we quickly went from a 180 from the last episode. Oh shit. Yo,
That's
but
all it took, one trailer.
Yeah, and like we talked about, like I was like, the movie AI, right? Artificial intelligence. It was the same concept where they lost or the kid was dying or something, and so they had the robot to help console them and stuff like that. So it was like these are gonna be like the use cases, right? Lonely dudes who want a girlfriend, the white, not the wife, but the older woman who wants a kid, right? Or the grieving widower who lost their spouse and wants a replacement. Like, these are going to be the use cases where people are going to be like, yeah, I want that connection, but I don't want to work for it with another human, right? So they're going to be like, I want the shortcut, I want it. And then this is what I'm never going to leave you.
That's hilarious, because you are right. You make an excellent point. Like, all these movies show it in this light. Like, oh, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, look at Terminator. That's how the freaking Skynet started, right? It was like, kill all humans. You are the problem. Love you, Mom.
She's leaving for real this time.
Yeah, for real. After we show the trailer, hooked her in.
I should review The Secret High on Edibles. Oh my god. We would get to some really good conversation though, some real deep thought.
It would be deep. I think you would start that's when your spirituality will come through, because that's where you're like, yo, I feel connected. I feel my soul.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. Freaking that Megan commercial. I was like, yo, when that shit dropped, I was like, yo, we were just talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so creepy.
Did you see it in the theaters? Did you go to the movies over the weekend or?
No, I didn't see it. It's coming out. It's I like I said, I haven't gone to the movies in a while. There's nothing really I want to see. But no, I saw the trailer the other day on YouTube, and I was like, yo, we were just talking about this. So is that one you would go see?
Yeah, I'd see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you always do like a theme for Halloween. What's your theme this year for Halloween? You said vampires?
This year is vampires.
Are you watching vampire movies?
Blah, blah, blah.
Are you watching vampire movies?
No, I haven't really been watching movies this year, even with my kids. I mean, we saw Hocus Pocus, then we saw Hocus Pocus 2. And I went back and I saw the full movie, Hocus Pocus 2. Okay. And what I found was like it was actually created in a really nice way. I really enjoyed Hocus Pocus 2. I wasn't
good.
There were a few things in there that I caught on to that was like, oh, wait a minute. Like
but it wasn't over it wasn't over like too much. It wasn't overexposed and all that stuff.
No, it wasn't. They did a nice job recreating it. Even as a fan of Hocus Pocus, I'm happy with the way they
did the sequel.
Made this one. Yeah.
Good, because it did have a big fandom, and I was like nervous.
Mhm.
I was like, it was Disney. I was like, are they gonna butch this? But I think honestly, the ones that are really butching the fandom right now, it's like Amazon and the Ring of Power. That's just
Actually,
horrible. Yeah, everybody's just hating.
just to show
Oh
you,
shit! Oh, look at you.
I got my hocus pocus blanket.
Lynn went all in. I was like, how the hell did you even find this decoration? Like, I went to Lynn's house the other day. It was she wanted to carve. Oh, we carved pumpkins. We were carving pumpkins with the kids. So we went over.
Yep.
It was a beautiful day. So Lynn did a barbecue. Oh my God, burgers. I love freaking burgers. And her whole house was decorated everywhere. She had the streamers and it was all hocus pocus. It was like, I smell children, all the catchphrases from the movie. I was like, she really was going in. And I'm glad because like I said, you know, one of the things I really love, no matter what you are a fan, I love the fandom of everything. Like I love seeing, you know, New York Comic Con, which just recently went by, and just people just expressing their fandom, whatever it may be, right?
Mhm.
You know, I got my kids; they love Pokemon. I love the Pokemon fandom, right? I love, you know, we love wrestling, the wrestling fandom. Just and you have your fandoms. You have Harry Potter and you have Hocus Pocus. Like I knew it, and I was hoping, like, please don't butcher this one for Lynn. Don't butcher it for Lynn.
Let me see. So, oh, wrong one. Mad outrage because they made the bad guys in Hocus Pocus likable and sympathetic.
They did? Oh.
Yeah, the bad guys, they weren't really like bad guys, you know? It was more just like, oh, that was dumb. Why would you do that kind of thing?
Was it?
I
Was
didn't realize
it?
that. There
Did
were
it have
like
that
clips and
nostalgia
stuff.
feel to it?
Did it have what?
That nostalgia feel to it?
It did because they brought back the original actors and
Cast,
everything.
yeah.
It was great.
Good.
And it made sense because when I first saw the trailer, I was like, well, how do these people play in, you know? So they kind of tied it in, like the one dude was like a kid when they originally came back a few years ago. I was like, okay, it makes sense. I see.
Did they do anything like Star Wars where they brought back the original cast and then killed them off?
I mean, they did all get killed off. I mean, that's it. Hocus Pocus. They're supposed to, you know, be defeated. So, of course, they had the scene and they had to, like, you know, mystify again the way they have in the previous movie. Like, they did a good job at recreating the movie.
Good. Like, I'm scared.
But there was a lot of outrage about it because there was, like, clips going around about, like, moms talking about, oh, that this is devil worship, whatever. You know how the internet goes now. So when I was watching it, the first thing I noticed from like early in the movie was, you know, the lady was like, oh, they brought up the fact that they eat children, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the lady, the witch, is basically like full on screen, close up. And she's like, well, how else am I supposed to say young and beautiful? And my mind went straight to a dream
goes to, yeah.
Yeah,
yep,
how like, you know, like the elites are devouring these children. They're scaring the crap out of them, killing them and eating them. And I'm like, holy crap.
But if you take it one further, what the elites are actually doing is because they have an abundance of money, they actually have somebody who's young, healthy, fit, and they're paying them. That guy is on, you know, that guy is on staff. They're paid to stay fit. They're paid to stay healthy. And then every so often, they're doing a blood transfusion where they're recycling the blood of that young person. Mm-hmm. That's what they're really doing. So they're actually taking the person's blood and all that.
I don't know. I hear they're actually like eating people and doing.
Of course, yeah. You hear the sacrifice and all that.
Yeah, hell yeah,
you know,
that's
Epstein
happening.
Island.
That's happening.
That's another thing. Epstein Island. Where's that list? We know there's like numerous people that are big names on that list. Whatever happened to that list?
It was like the headlines for a while, and now that's no longer the headlines. Yeah. It's just like, oh,
right.
It's not important.
Right. But what I say to those people though, and once again, this is all about owning your own shit. It's like, so what if it is devil worshiping? Teach your children to know how to fight the devil, right? Mm-hmm. Teach your children to have a stronger mind, stronger soul, and stronger, because that you know, that's going to come from everywhere, metaphorically or, you know, physically, however you believe in. That attack is coming from all directions. Teach your children to have a strong constitution, right? Make sure they have a strong foundation. That comes from you.
Yeah.
But Yeah,
I noticed
release
that
the
the other
sweat
day. I
dog.
was like, yo, I don't think, I'm definitely not bringing my children up in the church.
Right.
And so the other day I asked my oldest, I was like, hey, do you believe in God? And like, he hesitated, and like he really didn't have a response for me. And I was like, I am so sorry. I need to um, excuse me. I was like, in that moment, I realized that I'm, putting my children at a disadvantage by not teaching them about religion. Because religion is something that's so deeply seated in us, and that's really that's our first go-to whenever we face any kind of turmoil in our lives.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
it's
definitely
funny
something I have to
because
look at.
most people will say, "Oh, I don't believe in God and all this," but when something tragic happens in their life, what do they start doing? They start praying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, please help me, good, please help me, right?
Yeah.
When they're in an accident, oh God, please help me. When somebody's dying, oh God, please help me. They turn to that even though they don't believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you need to work in that. And honestly, all it is, if you think about it, and then you start elevating it inside of inside of us all, and every day we see it, there is a battle between good versus evil.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so once you start telling yourself that, and you start spreading that out to your kids and everything, and understand like it's all a mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all a mindset. It's the way you perceive things. So, every day to me is a blessing. Every day is a blessing. Every day is a chance for me to do good, be it in my own life, be it in my kids' life, and be it in the lives of others. It's like, every day is a blessing. Those are the kind of things, like, that's how you got to look at it. And once again, like, yeah, it could be, there's this saying like Hollywood's all into this whole, satanic rituals and all that stuff. Okay, cool. But what are you doing with your kids to help them fight that?
Right.
Like, are you building that foundation within your kids?
And I think that's where the discussion went on TikTok with like the woman who was just voicing her opinion about how, hocus pocus too. It's like, you don't know what kind of rituals they're doing and what your kids are singing and yada, yada. But a lot of the pushback towards this woman was like, well, what are you teaching your children? Like, obviously the movie's not for you,
Right.
but like, what are you teaching your children?
Because like Fuzz said it on here. There's a lot of Disney, movies and shows recently that's been showing that more prominent lately. Why? Because evil's taking over the world. I mean, look at it. We're on the verge of World War III, right? We were just on the verge. We just had 2 years of lockdown for something that was overinflated, right? Evil is taking over the world, and things are only going to get a lot worse. So of course you're going to see it everywhere. Evil loves to show itself, yeah? So because it's everywhere, once again, it's on you and the individual. Where do you stand? And I tell my kids that all the time. I'm like, listen, we're going to be attacked every which direction. But you still got to have your character. You still got to understand you're still blessed. You still got, your guardian angels watching over you. So do what you got to do. Know right from wrong. It is what it is.
If I said that they did the same thing with Cruella, they made her likable. I didn't see that movie. That was on my list though of things I did want to see.
It wasn't all that. Maybe you'll like it, but I don't know. It was just they I don't know. I felt like they focused too much on Cruella, on her story, and once again, it was like, oh, this whole woman thing, and they're trying to make her not be that villain anymore, and they shattered on some other characters, and I was like, really? Like, you had to do that? So I don't know. To me, it was okay. It was okay. But I think that's what made Cruella like unique, was the fact that you didn't like her. It's okay to not like your villains,
Right.
It's like that's what makes that I don't know. To me, it just, I don't know.
All right, so we have another trailer here. I have not seen this one. Ray, have you heard of this movie?
I have not, but let's watch it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's go. Thanks, Fuzz, for the recommendation. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's watch the trailer.
Once upon a time, there lived a king.
ஒரே ஒரு
Near
கல்லுக்காக
stone, the king
பெரிய
had
இடத்தை
donated
அந்த
vast
ஊருக்கே
areas of
தானமா
land for his
கொடுத்துட்டாராம்.
villagers.
Time out. Real quick. Pause. Real quick. This just kind of popped in my head. I just want to say it real quick. So you remember how Fuzz said go see RRR?
Mhm.
I've noticed now that a lot of more people are talking about it. Starting to see more reviews pop up on YouTube. People are saying like, it's one of the better movies out there, and it's really cool because it's another one of it's an Indian movie too, and that the half that I saw, I never went back to it yet, but the half that I saw, it was really good. So I do like Fuzz's recommendations. He recommends some sleeper hits.
Mhm.
So with that said, let's go into it now. I think wasn't
the
this guy
land
in
back.
it? I think this guy was in it.
Asking for the land back would mean going back on the word given to the demigod.
முதல்ல களத்துல இறங்க போறது யாருன்னா நம்ம
You're now
காலப்பட்டி
witnessing.
சிவாவோட எருமைங்க தான்.
I cannot read his name. Punch ahead!
இந்த வெடி சத்தத்தை கேட்டு காட்டுல இருக்கிற மிருகங்களும் பறவைகளும்
Visually
பயப்படும்
spectacle
தெரியாது
yours is
உனக்கு
causing-
பயப்படுமா
Why too fast?
மாரியா
Joey,
பயப்படுமா
you guys heard that?
அப்படின்னு காட்டு விலங்குலாம் உங்ககிட்ட கம்ப்ளைண்ட் பண்ணுச்சா
Will all animals drop in and complain too?
பெரிய ஆபத்து வரப்போகுதுன்னு தோணுது.
Looks like it's fast moving.
நீ செய்யற இந்த விஷயத்துல உன் பர்சனல் அஜெண்டா தெரியுது.
The way you're
அரசாங்கத்தோட உத்தரவு. நாங்க இந்த காட்டு பகுதியை அளவெடுக்கிறதுக்காக வந்திருக்கோம்.
தைரியம் இருந்தா நெஞ்சில சொல்றா.
தைரியங்கிறது உனக்குள்ள எப்பவும்
courage comes from
இருக்கு.
the fire.
அது நெருப்பு மாதிரி கொழுந்து விட்டு எரியணும்.
With the fire
உன்னை
within you,
எரிச்சல்
that ends up burning you.
சிவாவையும் அவன் ஆளுங்களையும் பிடிச்சு கொடுக்குற சார்.
டேய் சிவா, ஆளு கதை என்னாச்சு? பைக்ல இங்கேயும் அங்கேயும் சுத்திட்டு இருக்கீங்க.
உன் மேல வேடி நாத்தம் வருது.
பரவாயில்ல அதான் போச்சு குறுக்குல ஃபாரஸ்ட் ஆஃபீஸர் வந்து கட்டு விட்டான்.
சம்பளம் அரசாங்கம் தரும். சர்வீஸ் நீ இவனுக்கு பண்றியா?
Bang.
இந்த கார்டு மாதிரியும் உன் ரெputation ரொம்ப முக்கியம். வேட்டைக்காரன் வேலை என்னன்னு தெரியும்ல.
டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டுக்கு தொந்தரவா ஒரு செயல் இருந்தாலும் ஏரோப்ளேன்ல ஏத்தி விட்டுருங்க.
சார்பத்தில் ஏறிடுவோம்.
உனக்கு ஃபாரஸ்ட் ஆபீஸருக்கும் பிரச்சனைன்னு மொத்த ஊருக்கும் தெரியும். மர்டர் கேஸ் மாதிரி ராஜு.
I'm getting RRR vibes, Buzz. Is this like tied to it? Is it tied to RRR? Because I'm getting the same kind of vibes that movie had. That was like I said, RRR was
of Kantara directed, wrote, and is in the lead, and he is the lead actor. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting the RRR vibe, so I don't know if it's tied or like, is it a sequel?
So
or prequel?
RRR, I did start seeing it. That's the one where like it starts out and like he's like trying to like push back the people who are coming in, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I started seeing it.
It's a good movie. Like I'm saying, it's starting to pick up steam now. Like it's really like more people are starting to watch it. I started seeing like prominent YouTube, like some of the ones I watched more like the like reviews of movies and stuff like that. I started seeing that they started reviewing it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a banger. Fuzz is, another good recommendation from Fuzz. I just gotta finish it. It's like 3 hours long.
Right.
And I started with my kids. So I don't want to like go without them to watch it. And like every time we do something, it's like something else gets priority. So for us, we started for Halloween. We started watching comedy, like horror comedy movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because my youngest, he was like, I don't know if I like horror. He was like, but I like horror with like some comedy to it. So I was like, oh, so you're looking for like a certain vibe, like a certain like
scary movie,
a certain tone. So he started learning about tone, and then his language arts class started talking about tone too. So as I had that conversation, he was like, "Daddy, you're talking about tone." And I was like, "Yeah." So now you understand that. It's like when you set the tone, it's like it could still be a horror scene, but you're not really that scared of it because it has that comedic tone. Yes, like Shaun of the Dead. So we watched Ash versus the Evil Dead. And so he started watching that, and when he was young, I was watching the Ash TV show, and he was watching it with me, and he loved it. So I have a photo of him all dressed up like Ash with the blue shirt and the chainsaw and the boomstick and all that. And so we watched it, and he was like, "Oh, I remember this guy," and I was like, "Yeah." So I told him, because of tone, I was like, "You're watching the third movie, which had more of that comedic tone, but if you were to watch the first and the second one, like that would scare the shit out of you because it had that horror tone." So he was like, "Oh, okay, I get it." So I was like, "Cool." So like, yeah, we're watching more movies. Like Shaun of the Dead is a perfect one. What's the one that we saw where you swore up and down that your oldest wasn't gonna get scared, and he was in his like high chair, he freaked out by it. But that one had like that. That one had a comedic tone to it too.
I remember the moment when he freaked out.
Yeah, I think that was Sam Raimi too. I forgot what it was like. Drag Me to Hell or something like that. It was something like that. But we gotta watch that one. And so yeah, so I was it was cool because once again everything ties universally, right? We're having this conversation and tied in with his class too. So I thought that was kind of cool.
It's so funny how like we tie things in. My oldest was texting me yesterday and he used your instead of your. And so I corrected it. And he was like, "Really, Mom? Really?" He was like, "You should definitely be an ELA teacher. My ELA teacher would be so proud."
Yeah, scary movies is another one. Like we binge watched all the scary movies, and they got that sense. Like at first, my youngest was scared of it, but then when they started seeing the funny things, like the killer would always trip and fall, or things that Dewey would do, that's when they started realizing the tone was more of a whodunit comedic type horror movie. And so then that's when they were like, "All right, let's watch the next one. Let's watch the next one. Let's watch." And I think we watched all 5 of them, with like the third one being the worst one of all of them. Like that was just ugh.
So the third one usually is. The third one usually is.
So they want to do it again, but they don't want to watch the third one. That's what my youngest said. He was like, "I want to do all the scary movies again, but I don't want to do the third one." I was like, "All right, well maybe we'll find some other ones though."
Now,
so Fuzz, any
so
more recommendations? Put them over there.
Your older boys, did they recognize any of the movies in them? Like from watching the actual movie and then seeing Scary Movie and because Scary Movie, it's really just a compile of all the scary movies in a comedic
Oh,
way.
you know what? Sorry, I got it confused. I was talking about Scream. So we watched Scream, the actual original one, Scream. Scary movies, they've watched it, all the clips and stuff, and with the guys like, "What's That's definitely comedic. But no, we were talking about Scream itself. Sorry.
Okay.
I got it confused. Yeah, Happy Death Day is a good one too. Yep, where she keeps going on repeat. And I think I saw that one with my boys.
It's actually good ones. I want to write some of these down for my kids.
Happy Death Day has a sequel to it too. So it's great, and I think you should do that with your kids too, because it kind of gets them into the horror. It gets into the whole spirit of Halloween, but it's not like overkill scary because there is that comedic sense of it. So it's like they can laugh and they're like, "Okay, this is not so scary." So like, yeah, Ash versus Evil Dead, or Army of the Dead. It was the third one, and he was really into that one. He was really loving that one. And then the Scream movies, all the sequels, even the Scary Movies one. Happy Death Day has a part 2 to it. But she wakes up again, she's like, "No, not again." Yeah, so it was cool. So that's the theme.
I know what
for
you
the
did
season.
last summer.
Zombieland, yes, I gotta watch that one. That was on my list for the month. I wanted to watch Zombieland 1 and 2. Those 2 wasn't all that good, but at least that one's more, once again, it's dealing with zombies, but it's a comedy, Because some of these I've already saw with my kids. So I'm like they already saw Shaun of the Dead, but that's a good one. Zombieland, like all these are great for just if you're looking for that theme, going into Halloween.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Like, have you been watching any vampire movies?
We haven't, because I stay away from TV. I feel like every time we start the TV, like it ends up turning into the entire day.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what it should be. It's like Halloween. Like I told you, like I want Halloween to be more than like October should be that whole like ooh spooky Halloween. Put up your decoration, wear your costume all month long, watch the movies, get into it, you know. And then when Christmas comes around, we do that too. We try to watch like all the Christmas classics.
Right.
Like we do all that. Like we watch, you know,
Die Hard. That's always
Die
your first
Hard, yeah.
one. You're like, oh, Die Hard. That's my favorite Christmas movie.
No, we watch them all. Like I think we watched the Santa Claus. We watched the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's trying to get the toy. We watched Die Hard.
Oh, I love that one. Jingle All the Way. Oh, that's like
Jingle
my
All
favorite
the Way.
Christmas movie.
We watch Home Alone. We watch what else we watch? Some of the newer ones like the Chronicles, the cartoon. We watch the Polar Express. Polar Express. You put that on, and then like all like for the next 3 days, my kids is singing the hot chocolate, ha. That's what he's doing like for 3 days straight. hot chocolate. And of course, I make them the hot chocolate and everything. Oh, so going into the whole Halloween thing, I have to commend Marvel. They put together this 1 hour black and white, like I don't know if it's a movie. It was like a special event, and it was called Werewolf by Night. It's on Disney Plus, and so we put it on the big screen, you know, on the projector. We made snacks, popcorn, and we were just there, you know, just chilling in the living room. And we made an event out of it. It was all black and white, and it kind of was a throwback to those classic horror movies, right? So like that's like to me that's like okay, that's exciting. That's what Halloween should be all about. So that's what we're trying to do. I think I'm gonna watch like some of the older ones, some of the 80s movies. Like I know last year we watched like Teen Wolf, Monster. We watched Monster Squad. Like we watched all those kind of like throwback old movies, stuff like that.
Oh, we have been watching. All right, so we saw Monster House the other day. We saw I think Transylvania something.
Yep, they like that one. Frankie Weenie. Like,
damn, all right, so we are watching some Halloween stuff. It's just
that's how
you should be doing. Kid side of things. Yeah.
Right. So step it up and then do some of the funny movies like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zombieland, all those good movies. Yeah, so Monster Squad is on my list. What's the other one I want to do? I wasn't even gonna do like Goonies because they never watched that one too. So that's a good one. Even though it's
I haven't seen the movie Goonies.
Watch that one. That's a classic.
Everyone says that. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm telling you, Teen Wolf. I thought they were gonna like Teen Wolf, and they loved it. They loved Gremlins. They loved Teen Wolf. They love all those 80s movies. They're classics. So I think they even wanted to see like because it was Teen Wolf 1, 2, and there might be even a 3. And I think we fell off on the 3rd one or something like that. Gremlins, yep, Gremlins is a classic too. I think they're remaking Gremlins. It's scary and Xmas. Yeah, it always happens on Christmas. So technically it's both. We gotta watch it twice. I heard they're like fighting for the rights for the Never-Ending Story. Do you remember that one? With the
I do remember that
flying creature. Yeah, they're fighting for the rights because they want to remake that one too. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because I'm like, this is a classic. It's like, and it's like 50-50. Like either they're gonna like shit on it and make it horrible, like the Ring of Power, or are they gonna like make it good, like you know some of these other remakes that they do, and it's like, wow, it's really good, like a TV show. Okay, cool. I don't know, man. I'm at the side. It's not even 50-50 at this point. I think it's more like 60-40 for me that they're gonna mess it up. Atreyu, that's a rock band. You know that? They took that name and it's like a rock band out there. But that's another classic. It's like, oh, don't butcher that one, man. Yeah, but with that said, man, do you have anything else? You want to close this one out? This was another good episode, man. 2 hours, man. It goes by real quick.
It does. No, that's the end of another great episode, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Again, just a reminder, we're going to be switching our schedule soon. I think I'm going to go ahead and update our overlay so that shows in the bottom our new schedule.
We haven't set the time, so if you guys want to suggest any times or anything like that, but Yeah,
Look, I
hopefully.
told Ray, I was like, listen, we could do it early morning before work,
I'm not trying to wake
or we
up
could
that
do
early.
it in the evening after work.
I'm not trying to wake up that early, but I wouldn't mind doing something like this right before, like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go out now. Have a good time. It's like the pre-flight. Get me in a good mood.
All right, guys, we will see you soon. Anybody new to the
Buzz.
channel, please consider subscribing and make sure you hit that like. It helps us with the algorithm.
Yeah, and Fuzz, welcome back. Thank you so much for the comments today. It was amazing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like 4 or 5 p.m. around there, and then doing the 2 hours, and then ending around 6 or something like that. But Fuzz, thank you so much for all the comments, the email, providing giving us feedback, helping us out, and everybody else in the past who helped us out, with comments. Tris, Drunk, Tadashi, everybody. Thank you so much, and I love you guys. And be safe out here. I know it's getting crazy, Fuzz. I heard record high subway attacks in New York City. Crime is just being rampant. Crime is going crazy. Best wishes, brother. Stay safe out there. But with that said, I don't want to end in a sad note. So hey, it's the weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Live life to the fullest. Be blessed, my family, and I love you guys. So thank you for another banger.
All right, guys, we love you.
Peace.